The sun was barely up when Nena stood in the middle of the village square, her wrapper tied tightly around her chest, her eyes stinging with tears. Her mother-in-law's voice rang through the air like a slap. She's a barren woman, 7 years in this house, and not even a miscarriage. Useless. People had gathered, drawn by the noise. Some pretended to fetch water, others just stood and stared. Nena could feel their eyes all over her like ants crawling on her skin. She wanted to disappear. Her husband, Obiora, stood to the side silent. He didn't defend her. He never did. Not even when his mother called her a curse. Not even when his sisters mocked her at family meetings. Nena had once believed their love could survive anything. But now, standing alone in front of the whole village, her faith in that love was dying. I warned my son not to marry a woman like you, Mama Obiora shouted. Pretty face, empty womb. Nena's voice broke as she tried to speak. Mama, please, I've tried. Tried what? Eating all our food and sleeping like a log? You're not a wife, you're a decoration. Someone in the crowd laughed. Nena couldn't tell who. Her heart cracked. It wasn't just the insults. It was the silence of the one person who should have spoken up. She turned to Obiora. Say something. Tell them we're trying. Tell them we've gone to the hospital. Obiora looked away. Let's go inside. That was it. No defense. No truth. Her legs were trembling, but her anger held her up. Tell them the truth, Obiora. Should I say it for you? He glared at her. Nena, enough. No. I won't keep quiet anymore. Her voice rose. You think I don't know? You think I didn't see the test results you hid? Gasps flew through the crowd. Obiora's face went pale. You're the one who can't have children, Nena said, her voice shaking. You. Not me. There was silence now. Heavy. Complete. Even the birds had stopped singing. Mama Obiora opened her mouth, then closed it again. Obiora's fists clenched at his sides, but he didn't deny it. Nena took one last look at the faces around her, mocking, surprised, confused, and walked away. Her shame had turned into fire, and it was just beginning to burn. Nena was 34 years old and had been married to Obiora for 7 years. They lived in his family house in a small village outside Enugu. It was a compound with 3 buildings. Mama Obiora's house in the front, Obiora and Nena's room in the middle, and his elder brother's family in the back. It was crowded, noisy, and full of judgment. From the day she married Obiora, Nena tried to be a good wife. She cooked, cleaned, supported his business, and prayed every day for a child. But year after year passed with no pregnancy. At first, everyone said, "It will happen. Just give it time." By the 3rd year, the whispers began. By the 5th year, the whispers turned to insults. By the 7th, people said it to her face. Woman without womb. She's eating his destiny. She should leave so he can marry someone fertile. But Nena never gave up. She went to hospitals, drank bitter roots, fasted for days, and even visited prayer houses. Still, nothing changed. Every month her period came, and every month her heart broke. Obiora changed too. He used to be kind, even romantic. He would buy her small gifts and whisper, "Don't mind them. I love you, baby." But as the pressure from his family grew, so did the distance between them. He stopped touching her. He came home late. He slept facing the wall. Nena begged him to go for tests together, and at first he refused. "Are you saying I'm the problem?" he had shouted once. But eventually he agreed. They went to a clinic in Enugu, far from the village. Nena remembered how her hands shook as she waited for the results. She was healthy. Everything was fine with her. But when she saw Obiora's test, she felt cold inside. He was the one with the issue. The doctor had said the words clearly. Low sperm count, poor motility. He would need treatment, maybe even IVF. But Obiora took the paper, tore it up, and said, "No one must know." Nena kept the secret. She told herself she was protecting him. That love meant covering each other's shame. She didn't expect him to let his mother and sisters treat her like dirt. Mama Obiora was the worst. Every morning, she insulted Nena openly. "A woman who can't give me grandchildren is no daughter-in-law of mine." She said Nena had tied Obiora's destiny with witchcraft. She called her a dry tree. Obiora never stopped her. He just walked past like it wasn't his business. Obiora's sisters were not better. One of them, Igioma, had 5 children in 7 years. She often told Nena, "It's not about being beautiful. A woman's pride is in her children." Another sister, Amaka, once told Nena to step aside and let Obiora marry a second wife. Each insult cut deep. Nena cried in secret. At night, she held her stomach and prayed, "God, please give me just one child. Just one." But deep down, she knew the truth. She might never carry Obiora's child. Still, she stayed. Where would she go? Her own parents were gone, and her younger brother lived in the city, struggling to survive. Besides, she still loved Obiora. At least, she loved the man he used to be. She worked as a tailor from a small shed in front of the compound. Her customers liked her clothes, and she saved every naira she could. Some days, that sewing machine was the only thing that gave her purpose. Every Sunday, She forced a smile in church as other women shared testimonies about their children's success. She clapped. She danced. But inside, she felt like a ghost. The village mocked her, but Nena wasn't weak. She was tired. Tired of pretending. Tired of hiding the truth. Tired of waiting for Obiora to love her again. And now, after what happened in the village square, she knew everything had changed. She had broken the silence. She had told the truth. The shame no longer belonged to her. But what would happen next? Would Obiora forgive her for exposing him? Would Mama Obiora throw her out? Would the village believe her? She didn't know. But she knew one thing for sure. She couldn't go back to silence. Not anymore. 2 days after the village square incident, Nena stayed inside her room. She barely ate. Her whole body felt weak, like the weight of what she had done was sitting on her chest. Obiora hadn't spoken to her since that morning. He walked past her like she was a stranger. His mother slammed plates in the kitchen, making loud noises just so Nena could hear. "Shameless woman. Talking nonsense in public," she muttered. "Now the whole village is laughing at us." Nena didn't regret telling the truth, but she feared what would come next. On the 3rd day, something unexpected happened. Her neighbor's teenage son, Somadina, came running into the compound. He held up his phone, laughing. "Auntie Nena, you're famous." She sat up slowly. "What do you mean?" "Somebody recorded everything that happened in the village square. It's all over Facebook and WhatsApp. My cousin in Owerri just called me about it." Her heart dropped. "Give me the phone," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. She watched the video. It started with Mama Obiora yelling. The camera shook a bit but showed everything clearly. Her standing there, begging for Obiora to speak, and then her voice rising as she said the truth. The moment she said, "You're the one who can't have children," the camera zoomed in on Obiora's shocked face. The comments under the video were exploding. "This is why men blame women for everything. She's so brave. Nigerian men and their pride. Shame. This girl deserves a medal. Low sperm count? Chai." See how the husband couldn't even say a word. Nena's hands trembled as she gave the phone back. By evening, the whole village had seen it. People were talking openly now. Some came to her sewing shop to greet her. "Auntie, I saw the video. You are strong. May God bless you." Others just stared at her with new curiosity, like she had become a character in a TV show. Mama Obiora was furious. She barged into Nena's room. "So you planned this? You wanted to disgrace my son in public." "I didn't record anything," Nena said calmly. "It happened because you insulted me in front of the whole village. I will not allow this. You must leave my house." Obiora stepped into the room then. His face was hard, cold. "She's not going anywhere." Nena looked at him in shock. "You're not defending me," he said, eyes on her. "You're defending your name." "You let them destroy me for years," she replied. "I covered your shame. I never told anyone. You made me look like a failure." "We'll talk later," he said, then walked out. But Nena knew something had shifted. The next morning, a woman named Adora visited her shop. She was a nurse from the government clinic nearby. "I saw the video," she said. "I'm sorry for what you've been through." Nena nodded, embarrassed. Adora continued. "There's something you should know. Obiora came to the clinic 6 years ago. He took a fertility test. I was the one who gave him the result." Nena froze. 6 years ago? "Yes. He knew the truth even before you two went to Enugu." Nena felt her chest tighten. "He never told me." Adora placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "He asked us to lie. He said it was family pressure, that he just needed time. We didn't agree, but he never came back." That evening, Nena sat in her room staring at the wall. Everything made sense now. All the years of silence. His refusal to try new treatments. The growing coldness. He had known all along. He had let her suffer. And now the whole world knew the truth. Not just about his condition, but about his cowardice. Nena didn't cry. She was past tears. Instead, she stood up, packed a small bag, and folded her sewing machine cover gently. She wasn't running away. She was going to find a lawyer. The morning after Nena packed her bag, she left the house early. She didn't say goodbye. She didn't know anyone that. She carried her small handbag, her sewing machine left behind in the corner, still covered like a sleeping child. She went straight to Enugu, to a women's legal aid office a cousin once told her about. It was small but clean. A kind lawyer named Chioma listened to her story without interrupting. When Nena finished, Chioma leaned forward. "Do you have any proof of the hospital test?" "No," Nena said softly. He tore it up. "What about witnesses?" "There's a nurse. Her name is Adora. She saw the results years ago." Chioma nodded. "We'll speak to her. We'll help you file a legal complaint, not for the infertility, but for emotional abuse and deception." "This is serious, Nena. You were manipulated." Nena felt like air had entered her lungs for the first time in years. But back in the village, chaos was unfolding. Obiora had found out she was in Enugu. He heard from someone who saw her at the bus stop with a bag and guessed she was heading to the city. When he came back home that evening, he stormed into his mother's kitchen. She's gone to the city to look for trouble. Mama Obiora hissed. She has disgraced you. If I were you, I'd marry another woman before she comes back. Obiora didn't reply. He lit a cigarette, something he hadn't done in years. Do you know what they're saying in the village? Mama Obiora went on. They're saying you're the one with the problem. You better clear your name. The pressure was rising. Obiora felt trapped. The video had gone viral, and even his friends in Lagos had called him. Guy, is it true? Why didn't you speak up? You let her destroy your name like that? He couldn't sleep. At night, he stared at the ceiling, remembering how Nena had begged him for a child, how she had cried alone in the bathroom, how she had covered his shame over and over again. But something darker was also on his mind. There was another woman. 3 years ago in Enugu, during a business trip, he had met a girl named Ifeoma. She was young, just 23, working in a hair salon. They started an affair. He told her he was married, but said his wife was difficult. Ifeoma got pregnant, and Obiora panicked. He told her to remove it. She didn't. She had the child quietly, a baby boy. Obiora had seen him only once, from a distance, outside the salon. The child looked nothing like him. No DNA test, no birth certificate, nothing. He wasn't even sure the child was his. But now, with Nena gone and the whole village talking, Mama Obiora had an idea. You said there was that girl, the one with the baby. Obiora didn't reply. Bring her here. Bring the child. We'll say it's yours. That girl will become your second wife. People will stop laughing. Obiora stared at her. You want me to bring a child I'm not even sure is mine? Mama Obiora raised her chin. Do you want to keep looking like a fool? Meanwhile, in Enugu, Nena was staying with her cousin Amarachi. It was a tiny apartment, but clean and peaceful. For the first time in years, Nena slept without hearing insults or footsteps pacing angrily in the night. She met with Chioma again. Adora, the nurse, had agreed to sign a statement. The clinic also had records from 6 years ago. It was enough to open a civil case. Still, Nena felt torn. She wasn't after revenge. She didn't want Obiora punished. She wanted the truth acknowledged. She wanted her name cleared. But then Amarachi brought news from the village. Obiora brought another woman into the house. Nena's mouth went dry. What woman? Her name is Ifeoma, and she came with a child. Mama Obiora is saying the boy is Obiora's son. Nena stood up, shaking. That's not possible. They've told people you were jealous. That's why you exposed his secret. They're painting you as bitter. Nena sat down slowly. She held her head in her hands. All her silence, her loyalty, her sacrifice, wasted. She picked up her phone. For the first time in weeks, she called Obiora. He answered. Hello. It's me, she said. Silence. I heard about the woman and the child. I'm doing what I must, he said coldly. You left. You went to the city to shame me. Now I'm moving on. That child is not yours. You don't know that. I do, she said, her voice steady. Because I saw the second test. The one you took last year without telling anyone. I found the result hidden in your old laptop. You are not capable of fathering a child. Not without help. Obiora was silent again. Then he said, You went through my things? You left me no choice. What do you want, Nena? I want the lies to stop. I want my name cleared. And I want peace. He laughed bitterly. There's no peace in war. Nena ended the call. That night, she sat with Chioma and said, I want to move forward with the case. Chioma nodded. Good. And after that, I want to start over. Somewhere new. Where no one knows my story. Chioma smiled gently. Then let's fight for your freedom. Back in the village, tension grew. Ifeoma was not the quiet girl Mama Obiora had hoped for. She asked questions. She demanded things. She didn't want to live in the family compound. She didn't want to be a second wife. Obiora began to regret everything. He had lost Nena, his loyal, hardworking wife. And what he had now was noise, confusion, and a child who might not be. But for Nena, something was finally opening. It wasn't happiness yet. It wasn't healing. But it was the small courtroom in Enugu was filled with quiet murmurs. People from the village had traveled to attend. Some were curious. Others wanted drama. A few came to support Nena. She sat in the front row beside her lawyer, Chioma, dressed in a simple blue gown. Her face was calm, but her fingers kept twisting her handkerchief. Behind her, Amarachi gave her a reassuring nod. Obiora entered last, looking tired and angry. He wore a clean white shirt, but his eyes looked dark, sunken. Ifeoma was not with him. Neither was Mama Obiora. He walked in alone and sat beside his lawyer, not once looking at Nena. The judge called the case. Chioma stood and began. This is a petition for emotional abuse, manipulation, and reputational damage. My client, Nena Obiora, was blamed for infertility for years by her husband and his family. She suffered emotional pain, public shame, and was treated as the problem in their marriage. But the truth, proven by medical records, shows that the issue was never her fault. Gasps moved through the room. Chioma continued. We have 2 medical reports from 2 different hospitals. Both show that Mr. Obiora has fertility issues. He knew this. Yet, he let his wife suffer alone, mocked by the community. And worse, when she finally spoke up, he responded by bringing another woman and child into their home, without confirming if the child was his. The judge nodded. Proceed. Adora, the nurse, was called to the witness box. She confirmed everything. The test results, the day Obiora came to the clinic, and how he refused to return after learning the truth. Then Chioma showed the medical reports. One from 6 years ago, the other from last year. Both stated clearly, very low sperm count. No natural conception likely. The judge turned to Obiora's lawyer. Do you wish to challenge these documents? No, Your Honor, the lawyer said quietly. Then the judge looked at Obiora. Mr. Obiora, do you have anything to say? He stood up slowly. The room went still. I didn't know how to handle it, he said, voice low. When I found out, I felt ashamed. Less of a man. I thought if I stayed quiet, the problem would go away. Nena stared at him, eyes burning. You watched me suffer, she said suddenly, standing up. The courtroom paused. You let your mother insult me. You let people spit at me. You never said a word. Obiora looked at her, guilt heavy on his face. I was scared. You were selfish, she said louder now. You took my love and used it to cover your shame. I begged you to try. I begged you to be honest. Obiora lowered his head. I know. Do you? Her voice cracked. Do you know what it feels like to cry alone every night? To watch other women carry babies while people call you empty? And all the while, you had the truth in your hand. He said nothing. The judge raised a hand. That is enough, Mrs. Obiora. But Nena wasn't done. Your Honor, I stayed silent for too long. I don't want money. I don't want revenge. I want my name back. I want the village to know I was not the barren one. I want peace. The judge nodded slowly. This court recognizes the emotional pain suffered by Mrs. Nena Obiora. Based on medical proof and testimony, she is not the cause of the couple's infertility. The silence of her husband caused her unnecessary shame and public embarrassment. While this is not a criminal case, we advise Mr. Obiora to issue a public statement to correct the false narrative. Obiora's lawyer whispered something, then Obiora stood up again. I apologize, Nena, he said, eyes wet. You were a good wife. I failed you. The courtroom was silent. Outside, reporters were already waiting. Word had spread that the barren wife had cleared her name. Later that day, Obiora posted a public apology on social media. I, Obiora Anazi, take full responsibility for the pain caused to my wife, Nena. I was the one with the medical issue, not her. She protected me when I didn't deserve it. I am truly sorry. The post spread fast. Back in the village, Mama Obiora locked herself inside her house for days. The people who once laughed at Nena now praised her strength. Some sent messages, some came in person. But Nena didn't return. She stayed in Enugu and reopened her sewing shop near Amarachi's house. New customers came every week, many of them women with stories like hers. One afternoon, while sewing a blouse, she paused to look outside the window. Children were playing. The sky was soft and pink. She smiled, not because she had everything figured out, but because at last she was free. Weeks passed after the court hearing, and Nena started to feel like herself again, only stronger, wiser. She had moved out of pain and into peace. The house she now rented in Enugu was small but bright. Her sewing machine sat near the window, and every morning, sunlight filled the room as she worked. Her shop grew quickly. People who saw the viral video now came looking for her design. Some came just to speak with her. Women mostly, some young, some older, all with stories of heartbreak, betrayal, and silence. Auntie Nena, one woman said, holding back tears, you gave us courage. At first, Nena didn't know how to respond. She wasn't trying to be brave. She was only trying to survive. But slowly, she began to see that her voice, once hidden, was now a light for others. She started a small support group in her living room every Friday evening. They called it Udo Makanwanyi, Peace for the Woman. Women came to talk, to cry, to share, to laugh again. Her heart was still healing. She still remembered the insults, the shame, the nights of silent crying. But those memories no longer controlled her. They were just part of her story now, not the whole story. Obiora tried to call once. She didn't answer. He sent a message. I'm sorry. I hope one day you can forgive me. She read it, then deleted it. She had already forgiven him, not for him, but for herself. Carrying anger was too heavy. Mama Obiora also sent word through a cousin. She says she's sorry. She's asking if you'll ever come back to the village. Nena smiled gently. I wish her well. But no, I'm not going back. Her cousin nodded. You've changed. I've grown, Nena said. Pain grew me. Her brother, Chuka, visited one weekend from ABA. He sat with her over hot rice and pepper soup. I'm proud of you, Nena, he said. You did what many wouldn't dare. She touched his hand. Thank you, for always believing in me. I never doubted you, he said. You were never the problem. Nena sometimes thought about motherhood. She still wanted a child. Maybe one day, through adoption or other means. But for now, she was content building her life again, on her own terms. She bought a small plot of land on the edge of the city. Her dream was to open a real tailoring school for young girls, especially those who had dropped out of school or had no one to help them. She wanted to give them something solid, something they could carry no matter where life took them. One evening, she stood on that land, bare soil beneath her sandals, and breathed deeply. The air smelled of earth, rain, and promise. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Thank you, God. I didn't break. I became." Rain fell gently outside as Nena sat by the window, a cup of warm tea in her hand. The drops tapped softly on the glass like a lullaby. Her sewing machine was quiet for the day. Her shop was closed. It was a time for rest. She looked around her little home. The curtains she made herself. The soft pillow on her chair. A small photo of her late parents on the shelf. Everything simple. Everything hers. A radio played low in the background. A gospel song. Soft. Comforting. She thought of the girl she used to be. The one who waited in pain. Who prayed and cried and stayed silent. That girl had loved deeply. That girl had hurt deeply too. But she had survived. She didn't hate Obiora. She didn't hate his family. She had let go. What they did no longer lived in her heart. Now her days were full of new things. Young girls learning to sew. Women sharing stories over chin-chin and laughter. She was building something stitch by stitch. Not just clothes, but lives, confidence, hope. She took a deep breath, the kind that fills the chest and clears the soul. From her window, she saw a young girl walking past in the rain without an umbrella. Nena stood, opened her door, and called out, "Come inside, my dear. Don't catch cold." The girl smiled and ran to her. As Nena handed her a towel and a warm cup of tea, she felt something bloom inside her. She had no child of her own, not yet. But she was mothering the world in small, quiet ways. And that, she thought, was more than enough. Hey besties. Thanks so much for watching till the end. If you enjoyed Nena's powerful story of truth and redemption, don't forget to like, share, drop a comment, and of course, subscribe for more stories that hit deep. Her friends invited everyone except her to their girls' trip, so she booked one seat beside Destiny. See you in the next one. Bye.